Good morning, y'all. Thank you so much for being here on day 128 straight of the income stream. Thank you so much for showing up on a weekend. On the weekends here, we do some website and YouTube channel reviews, and we have a number of them lined up. If you'd like to submit your website and or YouTube channel for review, you can just go to the link that's right in the description below. Make sure you hook me up with a thumbs up, and I want to make sure that you have a good time and you learn a lot here too. So that's why we're here. We're going to go over the rules, or essentially what I'm going to be looking for in just a moment. But I'm just looking forward to spending some time with you here on Saturday, July 25th. Hope you're all well. Thanks so much for being here. Let's do this.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Flynn.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you. You are amazing. I love how Rex showed up today. You were a little bit late yesterday. That's okay. You still got your name in the prize drawing, which was really cool. We had a lot of fun yesterday, didn't we? I was reflecting back on our little games that we played, and for whatever reason, we ended up playing a game called Watch Your Mouth 4 times, and there was only one slot on that wheel. I don't know how we ended up playing that so much, but it was so much fun, and I'm glad a lot of you had a good time doing that. What's up, Don? Great to see you here. We got Fun Will Now Commence, Jammin, Cheryl, Asma, Doug, Bernard, Margaret, Save Like a Bear, Quiet Ancestors. So thankful that you're here today. And yes, my mouth is okay indeed. Today we are doing some website reviews, which means that we will be looking at some of your websites and also YouTube channels. And I'll be sharing some information that'll hopefully be helpful for all of us, as we always incrementally try to get better when we put our stuff online. And when it comes to websites especially, and our YouTube channels, these can be really important situations because oftentimes they're the first impression, right, that people have about us and hopefully what they think we can do for them. We want a subscriber. We want people to come on. We want people to continually come back, and we can support them even further than that. And of course, your earnings are a byproduct of how well you serve your audience. And I'm just stoked to share this information with you. So if you want to get your website or YouTube channel review, just submit it in the link below. You'll see it. I think it's patflynn.com/review. I'm not going to be able to review everybody, obviously. I'm going to try to spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes on each. It depends. Sometimes we go really deep into some because they have a lot of great things that we could pull out and learn from for each other. Also, tell me as I am explaining a little bit more about what I'm looking for. I would love for you to share in the chat if you're here with me live today. What are your plans for the weekend? Thank you, Hey Archer, for the super chat. I appreciate you listening on his bike ride. That's super cool. Thank you so much. And we are very close to the end of the month, by the way. We only have 6 days left here, which is kind of insane. And as a reminder, all the donations, all the donos, all the super chats that come in are going to go specifically to yemenfoundation.org this month to bring awareness to that and what's happening over there, the crisis on top of crisis on top of crisis. And the super chats, they're not required though. You can keep your money. I want you to keep your money. I want you to invest in yourself. But if you so happen to choose to offer a super chat, I will happily accept. That gets your comment up to the top, and it's just something that you could do. Anyway, thank you so much. I will, starting in August, have another interesting way that you could potentially support the foundations and the charities and the channel here using YouTube memberships. And what's really cool about this is many of you have donated so much. In fact, Hey Archer coming in, donating daily. In fact, I want to reward those who donate and support. And there's some really cool things using YouTube memberships here, which I've been learning about in the last couple weeks or so, where if you happen to become a member, you are then more likely to, or actually you unlock the ability to use certain emotes and to get certain classifications and certain things like that, which will be super fun. I'll explain more about that later, but there's some fun things that'll sort of reward you for being here and offering support instead of just, hey, doing that and that's it. Batch recording videos on 10 ways to get off disability. Love it. Super chat from Samson. Thanks so much. I appreciate you for that. Getting ready for our homeschool week and crocheting, knitting, always crafting. My wife and my daughter have these super thick yarns that they're making these blankets out of. It's like big boy yarns, right? It's kind of insane. The t-shirt reminds me of Back to the Future first episode. Yeah, this is exactly what it is about. Let's see. Batch recording videos, 10 ways to get off disability, Pat Flynn. Cool. Keep up the good work. Even if you get halfway through that, that's crazy. That's awesome. Dr. Joella, I'm working on my channel trailer this weekend. Excellent. I love seeing that. Good afternoon from Ghana. Hey, I love Ghana. Ghana is a beautiful country. I was there in 2014 as we opened a couple schools through Pencils of Promise, and I got to meet so many amazing people there. Just honestly, some of the friendliest people I have ever met. Thank you for watching and tuning in from there. Amazing. Pokemon Go Fest weekend, says Contempo Coding. Cool. Finger knitting, yes, finger knitting. Rating right now. Rating? Oh, rating, like Pokemon Go. There's raids going on. Crazy. Okay, well, anyway, we could talk all day, and I want to make sure I provide value here for you as well. So let's get into some of these website and YouTube channel reviews. Here is what I will be looking for. Number one, when we dive into these websites, yo, SabbyBG, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you for that. I'll pop that up here in just a moment. But let's see. Cool. Number one, does the website and or YouTube channel in like a trailer or the artwork at the top of the channel tell me who this is for and what it's about, what's in it for me, right? It's really important to understand. On a website in particular, you have about 10 seconds, and hopefully without having the need to scroll down to share, okay, well, here's what this is about and how it's going to help you. It's so important because people look for things that are answers to their problems right away. And then the more that you can hook them in the beginning, the more likely you're able to serve them for a longer period of time after that. Next, are you helping me know what to do first? Not me, Pat Flynn, but the avatar, the character, the person who's coming to your website, right? Are you helping me know what to do first? Oftentimes, websites and blogs and YouTube channels are just a compendium, a grab bag, essentially, of stuff that you could dive into. And it can be very overwhelming to somebody who's just coming to your website for the first time or watching your videos. So might you have a place to start? Really important. Number three, how am I connecting to you versus others? So what's unique about your situation? What are your superpowers? What is going to trigger me to go, ooh, this is different? And although there are other people teaching or offering or recommending or doing the same thing, well, this one seems a little bit different. How are you making that happen? Number four, non-essentials and distractions, things like pop-ups the moment I come to your website without having been introduced to you first are things I'll be looking for and pointing out. Number five, branding and design, just overall sort of just the aura of the website. I will say also up front here, before I dive in, I'm not here to call out anybody on doing things wrong. I'm not here to make fun of you if you do things incorrectly. I am not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to be honest with you. I'm here to set up success for you and others here in the future. And I hope that you don't take offense to anything I might say or share. I understand that we work really hard on putting this stuff up online. It can be very difficult to do so. And I'm just proud of you for getting something up to begin with. I mean, how many people out there want to start something, but don't start a YouTube channel or don't start a website? I want to say I'm proud of all of you for starting something. And that's winning already, right? But we can move it forward and we can go a little bit further, which is why I am here. So thank you. SabbyBG, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. For the charity, by the way, we have the same number of subs. Love the coincidence. Oh, I have submitted my new channel for the third time, if you can. Okay, I'll see if I can check that out. Thank you so much for that. Let's see. And Sue, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Miss you when I can't watch the live during the week, but always the replay. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's dive into some of these reviews here. And first up, we are going to go with Susan Hopkinson, who has a website called Inspiration Yoga. So we're going to go to the website right now. So this is what it looks like. And this looks like a WordPress template, which is totally fine. And I'm just going to comment on this as I see it. And again, I'm really excited to share this, but I'm actually going to go to the homepage because I was exploring this earlier. So the homepage is inspirationyoga.eu. So here we go. A word, inspiration, ancient wisdom, modern solutions. So this is sort of what you were drawing my attention to. You have this really beautiful image of peacock feathers in the background, which is totally fine. That's drawing my attention to those words there. However, those words are all we have to work with, and we have to consider that. So what might we say instead or on top of this to get again, a new user who's here interested in what this is all about. These are more taglines or feelings related to what it is that you're trying to offer. But what specifically are we going to get here? That's what we need to get into. So I see inspiration. It could potentially even say inspiration yoga, which is the name, and also a little bit more specific, right? Inspiration yoga. Okay, I'm here. I'm going to learn yoga. Great. And then ancient wisdom, modern solution. That is, again, sort of more of a feeling versus something that is rather more specific to the outcomes of what a person is here for. Perhaps easy to follow yoga instructions based on ancient wisdom for your modern schedule. I don't know. That tells me it's a little bit more about, okay, well, how can I insert this yoga into a person's particular schedule, if that makes sense. I see a welcome here. Welcome, like welcome is fine. Although, again, remember, this takes up a lot of space. This takes up, I don't know, 1/8 of your page here. What I really love here is how you start to have a conversation with me right away, though. This is a plus here. I also like how you can switch this to French, and I think that's really cool. I think that's going to be much more commonplace moving forward. I think you're ahead of most people there when you can, I don't know necessarily how you're doing this, perhaps through a translation plugin, but I'm going to hit en France. I can't do that. Although when I do this, it doesn't translate it for me, which is really interesting. I'm going to hit English and see if that actually does change anything. Okay, so it changed some things below, but not much. So just keep that in mind. Is it worth putting on there if it's not actually changing anything yet? So that's just one thing to think about. I think the font down here is quite small. This is a little bit difficult to read. We want to start with like 0.14 font online specifically, and that's just something to pay attention to. But let's read this a little bit. Do you want to feel more in control of your life or your health in life? You're in the right place. I like how you're asking me a question. Maybe you're feeling stuck in a pattern that prevents you from being happy. You might be going through major life events and need some guidance. I think this is really smart. You're sort of trying to get in the head of those who are coming on this webpage, and I think that's really cool because if you can nail that, if you don't know where to start for that, I'd likely try to find conversations or have more direct interactions with people to understand what the language or what they're going through. But I think you're doing a great job there of really pulling out, okay, well, what might a person be going through right now? Maybe you're feeling stuck. These are emotions. These are things that can have a person go, yep, that's me. And then they'll be more likely to go deeper. And I love that. Here's what you get: a clear and proven path to peace and well-being. You learn effective methods for understanding and calming the mind and improving health. I like this. I like this a lot. Inspiration yoga. Your place, or how to understand and calm your mind to improve your physical health. That to me is the outcome, right? The benefit. I'm here. This is ultimately what I'm going to get right here. Can we chat while streaming on TV? You can. The way to do that would be to, and I did this yesterday, if you are watching on TV, you can pull up your phone and pull up the same video. It'll just count as 2 viewers. But that on the phone, you'd be able to do that. Rhino Dog said, I just did it. I submitted my website for review. Awesome, Rhino. I know that's been a long time coming. So let's keep diving in here. I also see that the first thing you want me to do, and you're directing me to what's important here, which I think is great, is right here, this red discovery call. You have green, and then you have red. Like this stands out like a sore thumb in a good way, right? So when I click on schedule a discovery call, first of all, we have to consider what a discovery call is and what the mindset is of somebody who is here and this is what they have access to. It feels a little bit early to ask for something so big as to offer a discovery call with you versus learning a little bit more about what it's like to work with you. I would love to see some testimonials in and around these kinds of call to actions because these are big asks, right? It's a big ask to get somebody to go, hey, let's get on a call together, right? You have to consider that most people won't do that unless they know who they're speaking to, right? And I have yet to see a little bit of information about you here first before the discovery call. I do see the about page here. I would indeed have a picture, and in fact, there's a picture here on your about page that I would actually bring to the front, Susan, because this is, oh, here's where you can get it in French as well. This is what's going to connect me with you, right? And use this about page to, now that you've introduced yourself, now have a person discover or do a discover call with you here. This is a really cool photo, by the way, and that can pop itself into the front here, which is going to, again, connect people to you more, because people will default to doubt. Oh, I don't know who Susan is. I don't know if this is the person for me. These are the kinds of questions that we have to answer up front. And then you have a sign up for Susan's newsletter here. And I think that's important to understand that that's there. And a little tiny red link is not going to be enough. We want the form or the box or a button with information about what's on the newsletter there, right? So if I hit this, it's likely going to open a page, and I look forward to staying in touch with you and sharing occasional emails about, a little spelling correction there, about my courses and activities. On average, you can expect 2 emails per month. I like how you are setting an expectation of how many emails you're sending. However, what exactly am I going to get? And it's seemingly more about you versus me, right? My courses and my activities. Well, what do those courses and my activities or your activities do for me? Those are the things we need to sell really into this. If this were a product, it is. It's your newsletter. Just having people sign up for a newsletter alone is essentially saying, hey, let me send you more emails. People do not want more emails. People get enough emails. People want the result that these specific emails will give them, right? So just keep that in mind. Scrolling down, some blog categories. This looks really cool. Blog posts. I like how you're writing blog content, which is great. A great way to connect with people. It's interesting that, though, when I see blog, then I can go to videos, but I don't see where the blog is otherwise, except down here below. Font bigger for sure, but I like what I'm seeing here. I see you also have a lot of consultations and courses. Let's go to one of these courses, for example, and just kind of unlock this really quick. Align with Purpose. The Align with Purpose course. I feel very lucky to have met you, and you have embarked in this course. I have never done such a thing before, and it comes at the right time. So you have these testimonials here, but we need to set this up first so we can move these testimonials into a place where people can then go, okay, well, here's how people feel about the thing that was just shared. Having a testimonial right up front, I don't think is doing you service, especially because there's no context there yet, if that makes sense. So we need to understand that when it comes to courses, we need to sell and position the course for the transformation first. What is the transformation and the connection to the person who's on the other end, right? So if this is Align with Purpose course, I'm just going to guess what this might be about. It's about alignment, perhaps with one's back, right? I don't know if it's a back course, but perhaps this can be started with hey, if you have ongoing and chronic back problems, I developed this course to help you within a 2-month period be able to no longer or have reduced back pain. You see how very clear that is? I don't know if that's what this is about necessarily, but I'm just trying to get into specifically, okay, person has back problems, here's the solution to back problems that I've created for you. Now we go a little bit more into the story, into the method and why this is unique, and then how other people have used it. I would love to see something like pictures, before, after pictures. I do see a before, after picture here, but it's a cat and a lion, and I like that analogy. But what about a before picture of somebody who's taken this course, and then an after picture of somebody who's taken this course, if it is indeed that? Let's see. Maybe this is Align with Purpose draws on 3 decades of fruitful experience in personal transformation, yoga, mindfulness, astrology and again, the font's a little bit too small here. I am indeed on a very large computer, and I'm still having to squint. But it might be life alignment, right? So again, the name of your courses don't matter, honestly. It's actually the tagline and what you say about the course that does all the heavy lifting for you, right? And just to get specific, like Power Up Podcasting, what does that even mean? What am I powering up? I mean, it sounds kind of cool, but what is it exactly? It's an online course that's step-by-step to help you launch, market, and scale a podcast so you can grow your income and influence online. The promise is, by the end of this course, you will have a podcast on all the major directories and even have listeners on the first day. Do you see how very specific that is? That's what I sell. That's what I'm promising. What is the promise of Align with Purpose? We need to get very specific to that. Otherwise, I like a lot of what you're saying here. How do you know if this is for you? That's a fantastic thing to sort of position. This is for you. If I would say that the last thing, and this is very common and very unusual, but we need to do this, and unusual meaning people just don't think about doing this. What are the objections that people will have before they get into these courses? Call them out on these objections. You create the story that they will tell themselves about these objections. First of all, like, oh, you don't think that you have anything to say on the microphone. Well, don't worry, because in this course, I have an entire lesson about the content so that you'll never run out of things to say. Oh, you're worried about the technology and having it be a little bit too difficult? Well, no worries, because in lesson 3, in module number 1, I actually walk you through with video how to connect all the things together and even how to edit your podcast episodes too. Oh, you don't like the sound of your voice? Well, that's okay, because I give you some training about your voice and how to make sure that no matter how it sounds, people are going to get value from the episodes and the things that you have. Chat, let me know if you're understanding this idea of objection, rebuttal, objection, rebuttal, objection, rebuttal. And do a little mindset check with yourself and the things that you have to offer. What are the objections that your audience has, and are they actually getting addressed about them, or are you allowing them to make up their own story about that and thus be more likely to leave, right? So let me know really quick in the chat if you understand objection, rebuttal, objection, rebuttal. What are the objections? Call them out on that and rewrite that story for them. That's so important. Thank you so much. Okay, that was a lot of fun, and I hope that we broke that down in a way that helped you, Susan, and for those of you watching, I hope that was helpful for you as well. I'm going to go and find another. Let's see. Rhino, let me know, what name did you use to sign up with? I'd love to make sure that I get you here because you've been so helpful and so generous. Objection, rebuttal. So important to anticipate the default to doubt response. Yes, you understand. Fantastic. Really good. Busting myths about a topic. Yeah, absolutely. Although when we call it a myth, sometimes we have to be very careful about how we position it, because if we say, hey, all that stuff in your head, it's not a real thing, right? Versus, hey, I understand what you're actually going through right now, and it's a very real feeling to have. But here, let me tell you why this is actually not true, right? If that makes sense. Somehow, the watch your mouth would be interesting to apply for today's website review. If I combine watch your mouth with these website reviews right now, that would be pretty ridiculous. Cooking with a Little Spice says, awesome review. Thank you so much. Great. I'm glad you guys are understanding. Dr. Joella, the rebuttal, a lot of times people don't know what to ask in terms of home office ergonomics. This is going to be how expensive is this going to be? How does this actually work? How much time is it going to take before I see results? These are some things that come to mind specifically with that in particular. Cool. All right, let's go. I'm looking for... All right, let's see. Okay, we got it. All right, we're going to go to another website here, and this is Rhino Dog's website. Super stoked because Rhino, I know this has been a long time coming. I'm very thankful for the support that you've always been here. You've always offered support, and hopefully we can all together. And again, chat, you're more than welcome to offer your own thoughts and your own constructive feedback and also compliments as well. So let's go to Rhino Dog's website, the 318 Project. The 318 Project. So I can see immediately that it's about parenting, specifically dad. I see dad in the background. Partly, it would be great to see the whole picture if possible, but I know that sometimes it just depends on the WordPress plugin that we're using or the theme that we're using. But let's go to this really quick. If I just land here and I literally have 5 seconds, I don't yet know exactly what this is about, right? And we can't expect that a person will be excited enough to read every single thing on a page. So under 318 Project, it might be nice to have something like a tagline that quickly, in just a couple words, describes what this is, because we don't know what this is yet. We can start making up what this might be about, but we need your guidance to tell us what this is for, if that makes sense. But I like the first impression and colors and just the minimalism of this. It's okay to design for a minimalism. Hey, just there's not much here, but all this stuff is important, and we need to make sure that that's the case, right? If you are designing in a more minimalist fashion, it has to come across as, okay, well, there's not much here, but the things that are here are absolutely important, right? So let's see the entire word if possible, and let's have a little tagline. If possible, we can also, with the background, you got to be careful with the background and with text on top of the background. Sometimes, like if I do my squint test, if I squint, my squint test is where I like look at a page like this, and then you'll start to see what pops out. And for me, the background actually pops out more than the words here. So a couple ways to go about doing this. You can either in Photoshop before you upload this photo, or sometimes WordPress themes alone have the ability for you to change the opacity or add a little bit of darkness and or lightness to the background image to have the text above that or the layer above that stand out. So that's just a little thing there, but that's okay. But yeah, the tagline is going to be really important. So what is the 318 project? I'm wondering what the 318 is about, if it's like an area code or perhaps a specific part of the Bible, for example. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, let's read this. Text can be a little bit larger as well. Again, this is very common. We need to default to maybe 14-point font here online because eyes, and especially older generation, they just, if they see small font, they're not gonna read through. Are you feeling discouraged with your marriage? Do you feel like you aren't connecting with your wife and children? So this is specifically for men, for dads, for husbands. Have you even at times questioned your faith or beliefs? The 318 Project is designed to help men grow to be the husbands, fathers, and the sons of God has created them to be through godly kingdom principles. Through a bi-weekly podcast, okay, cool, a bi-weekly podcast that will show and help you grow in these areas of your life, but also help you mentor and disciple fellow men in their Christian walk. Cool. I like everything you said there. That tells me a lot more about what this is about and who it's for. I think that now that we know this, we can be a little bit more upfront with that. This is for men, for husbands and fathers. The 318 Project. I don't know if it's, you want to say community, a resource, the go-to place, or even just saying the transformation from good to great for husbands and fathers, right? Or something like that. From, again, we'll need to do a little bit of wordsmithing there, but that as a tagline could do the job of everything we just talked about, which is who is this for and what it's about, right? Now we know who it's for. Let's make that known and upfront. Just the picture alone is not going to do the job, because that could be a little bit more just iStock photo-y versus just something that I like. I love these photos down here, but these make me want to click on them. And it's interesting how they're sort of in this array versus sort of right next to each other. And then on the homepage, I think we can add a little bit more in terms of what this is about and who it's for, about you and where this is coming from and the kinds of goals that you have for the husbands and fathers here, and the specific examples of how you're going to transform them. And I know this is a work in progress, so this is what I'd recommend. These photos, although great, are not as valuable as descriptions of how you might be able to specifically help people, or examples of how you help people, or examples or stories, your own story, Rhino Dog, and how that might show up here on the homepage. I do see an About Me area here, so let's click on that. Oh snap, whose site is this? This is Rhino Dog. This is Rhino Dog. So I love the start here. So about me, I'm Ryan. So I'm married to my wonderful wife, April, for 20 years. Hey, we have the same names for our wives. We have two sons, Seth and Titus. I'm a fighter for the Jacksonville, Florida. I have been with them for over 16 years. So I like how you're sharing a little bit about you. The goal of an About page is more along this line. My goal is to help men be the husbands, fathers, and sons that God created them to be through godly kingdom principles. And again, if that's the case, let's share some of that. Let's bring some of those godly principles to light here, and let's give people a feeling of the kinds of ways that you can do this. I think what you are doing is fantastic, because men need support, husbands, fathers, we all need to continually grow and improve. And we need leaders to step up like you to share this. And there are going to be people who follow the Bible who will want to and who take a more religious stance in life more than anything, who will want to find somebody like you. This is so important, but we need to show your best self and show different ways that people are able to connect with you, right? So you have blogs, which is pretty cool. So some written stuff. These should be shown on the homepage as well, or at least the latest one, if you can get that. I do see that you show the full blog post here, which is not necessarily the best practice. If you can show just a snippet, that'll help in many different ways. Showing the full thing is tough because it takes up so much room, especially when you have two side by side like that. It's like, where does my eye go? So if you can show one at a time, and especially have maybe a paragraph or a teaser for each to let me go, ooh, I want to learn more about that, and let me click through. What that does internally is for SEO, for search engine optimization, Google goes, okay, a person lands here, then clicks even further, and then spends more time on the site. And that way it'll rank your stuff a little bit higher over time. But I love how you're getting started with writing, and your writing style seems to be really great. Let's move on to the podcast. I see that you have this bi-weekly podcast. Let's display this podcast on the homepage too, and let's have ways for people to subscribe to it as well. Let's not forget, for all podcasters out there, people subscribe to different places to listen to your show. So your website becomes a very important component for where people should, this is where people get introduced to your podcast often for the first time. Studies have shown that many, many people who listen to your podcast are actually listening on your website. It's a great place to introduce people to. This is really cool. I like the player here, and you have the different shows.
Have you ever been told or told yourself that you're nothing, you're no good, you're sorry, worthless junk?
I'm intrigued. First of all, I think you have a great voice. I love how, and this has sort of been a theme with the ones that we've been reviewing today, you've gone into have you ever, or do you feel like this? I love that approach, and I love that that it's great. I think the other thing in Peasant Uprising is saying if a site is not optimized for mobile, it gets real frustrating real quick. That is one thing to make sure it's set up for. So I'm not quite sure if this is set up for mobile or not, but again, you have a lot of the pieces here. We just need to put a lot of these together, and especially on the homepage. And also, there isn't a way I can find to get back to the homepage. We need to have a link. Probably you can do this in your WordPress settings. A link in the navigation menu for the homepage. So just home. That's just very normal to have, or even a logo in the upper left-hand corner that people can click on to get back to the homepage. And again, on the homepage, I want to see a little bit more about how you can help people transform, and how you can help specifically the men who are here. Diving a little bit more into that language for children, for fathers, and for husbands. Showing specific examples. Pull out some of these blog posts and display them on the homepage. I'd love to see your story and a little bit more about you shown on the homepage as well, so that I can get excited about who I'm learning from, because people want to know who they're going to learn from. But this is great. Love that you are mobile setup already. That's great. Margaret here says, I'll be sure to pass this podcast on to my husband. He's in your target audience, and he keeps looking for more stuff to listen to. That's great. Greetings from Romania. Fantastic. Yes, so this is good. We are on the right path, but the homepage, more specifically, more than anything, needs a load of work, and that's where I would focus on next. Any images that you include on the homepage, I would make sure that they are relevant to what it is that you're talking about. I would include an image of you, should you choose to put an image on, I'm saying choose a lot, on the homepage. But again, remember, this is a connection that needs to be established up front when they're here. We can't expect the person to go, okay, well, I don't see a lot of information here, so let me click around to find it. We have to display this information on the homepage as much as possible. And so I'm really curious about how this is going to progress. Scooby Life is saying, well, what about the top photo in the header? It speaks volumes. It does, but again, it's cut off. It could say, Bab or something else, right? I don't know. I don't see the whole thing. And I think that it's a good photo, but we need more. We need more information, and we need more examples, if that makes sense. So hopefully, Rhino, that wasn't too difficult. But the last thing is the subscribe button. Let's see where this goes to. It goes to just a blank subscribe page, so it seems to be something that you're working on. I know that there needs to be more stuff here, and trying to consider, okay, well, what are we going to subscribe them to, and what are we going to offer in exchange? Perhaps maybe it's a PDF file, for example, of the top 5 verses that you want to share and how they can help you become and improve yourself as a husband and a father. Or maybe it's 3 activities that you can do with your family right now to help you learn and grow together. And that becomes a PDF file that, yes, maybe you were going to reserve for a blog post, but just pull it out, put it into a PDF file, and then you display it at the end of every blog post here on the subscribe button page. and on your homepage even too. So these are some things that can happen. Scooby says, no, the family pick. Yeah, the family pick could be great if you and your family agree that that's okay. Let's see. What is 318? That's another thing that you're going to need to just be very clear about on the homepage as well. So again, I have to click back to go to the homepage. And I would just answer that up front. What is the 318 project? And when you say project, what is your mission? This is the final thing I want to share with you. It seems to be something that you can have a goal like, I want to help transform 10,000 men and their relationship with their children and wives through the 318 project. Or maybe it's 318,000 people or 318,000 families. I don't know. You can come up with a mission like that. But when you come up with a mission like that, especially for a website with this kind of tone, it can go a very, very long way in helping people connect with you. Oh, I can get behind that mission and let's put it there, right? So this mission becomes a really important thing that people can get behind versus just, hey, this is what it's about, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And we need to make sure that's clear for people who arrive on this page as well. But Rhino, how did that feel? Hopefully it wasn't too terrible or feeling for you, but hopefully some stuff that you can get excited about. And I agree with here too with Dr. Joella. Great beginning. You were helping people already. So this is great. Well done. And I know that it's taken some time to get there, but this is an iterative process. This is what it's about. You got to be a disaster before you become the master. And your initial website looks way better than my initial websites did back in 2008. And so great job, and let's keep it going. All right. So chat, what are the big lessons that you've learned so far from these reviews? And we're going to do a few more for sure. And again, I can't select everybody. I'm looking for the super chat that came in earlier. What's unfortunate about some of these tools that we're using is that it just doesn't keep track of the super chats as much as they should. And I'm going to maybe take a moment here to find one that I want to review based on somebody who left a super chat earlier. Okay, I think we're close. I see Sue's super chat. Okay. The Sabby BG show. For the charity, by the way, we have the same number of subs. Love the coincidence. Oh, I've submitted my new channel for the third time. So Sabby, if you can just direct me to that in the chat here, that would be really amazing. So I'm gonna leave it up to you too, if you're still here, to let me know where to go. And because it sounds like you have a new channel you want me to review. Let's see. Jonathan says, our website looks better because we have someone to help guide us now, unlike you in the beginning. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I definitely was on my own and I didn't want to receive help. I think this idea of wanting to receive help is really important too. Rhino says, very helpful. Thanks everyone. I was nervous but stumped at how to make it better. Great. Well, you're on your way, which is great. Sue says, what are your go-to site platform recommendations? I know mine, but I'm curious what you'd say. Site platform. So, I mean, I'm more of a WordPress type person, and I love the idea of just having a little bit more control. And there are, Squarespace is great, Wix is great. There's a lot of other ones that are similar that are just kind of easy to use, but a lot of them don't allow for certain things that when you get to that advanced level, you can use. I know, for example, on Squarespace, their podcast integration is not so great. Good morning, Dole Up Dad. Good to see you here. Thank you so much. I'm going to review a YouTube channel now, and we'll see if we can pop this up here. Sweet. Okay, so we are going to go with Republic of Creators here. So thank you, Sabby BG, by the way, with that nice check mark next to his name there, and a channel with the same amount of subscribers, which is really cool. Actually, before we go to Republic of Creators, let's look up the Sabby BG show really quick. Look at that. Yes, legit the exact same number of subscribers. And guess what? You have a third or a fourth of the amount of videos. So this is really wonderful. Great job, by the way, on the acceleration.
Ranjit, you have to roll the J.
And look at this. You're putting yourself out in public. You are stepping outside of your comfort zone. I mean, look at this. India's #1 Vox Pop show, weekly videos. Like, you're doing all the things right here, which is fantastic. You have this great avatar. It makes me want to connect with you. And look at this video. 6 million views. 7 million views. I think that one thing that I see we can work on here is with that many views, let's see how we can get more subscribers, right? Anyway, I'm not here to review that channel, but wonderful job on that, Savvy. That's so dope. But let's go to Republic of Creators. All right. So I'm going to watch this video in just a moment, but I like what I'm seeing here so far. It's a lot to take in, though, in terms of this is sort of the opposite problem that we have when it comes to this artwork at the top. Usually we just have like a word or no artwork at all, versus there's a lot here. Together we learn, united we create. Daily dose of gold from world's top video creators. Join Creator Clan, make better videos, and subscribe. So there's a lot here. I think you could say the same. You're saying essentially almost the same thing in each of these three captions here. I love this image, by the way. It's kind of crazy. Like this is actually, I think that the button, although it blends in with the background, I would have a different colored background, that maybe purple or something that matches the purple that I see in your colors here. And I would have the YouTube play button stand out a little bit more. I didn't even see that was a YouTube play button here. This is what I'm talking about. This shows authority, the YouTube play button. A lot of people know that. But I like the aura of what you're sharing here. So this is where I can get advice for making better videos, right? And I think that instead of 1, 2, 3 spots here where you could say that, I would just say in one sentence what a person can get here, at least one on each side, versus there's just so much to take in there. That's just a little tip here. And again, you're much further along, especially with your experience on your other channel, than most. So I'm going to give you some very nitpicky advice here. But I like how you have a video that plays upon landing here. This is what's called the welcome video. However, you've chosen not to create a welcome video. You are featuring a video that's likely one that best represents your channel here, which is totally fine to do. But I want to watch this video really quick. I like how you have the different playlists here. Your thumbnails are all pretty similar, which is pretty cool. And it looks like you might review these people, or you have Jen Creates as sort of a guest, a recurring guest here, which is pretty cool. So creators on how they make money, full episodes of the podcast, best from, and let's see, uploads. Okay, so yeah, this channel seems to be fairly new, but it seems like you're off to a great start. So let's watch this video, How I Make Money on YouTube, featuring Jen Creates. United we create. I like that.
Let's talk a little bit about the monetization, right? Of course, you're at 100K subscribers. You're probably, in the YouTube partner program, you're making some ad revenue.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This is a repurposing, essentially, of a much larger podcast, a video podcast. It's a podcast and mini videos I upload on this channel. So this is pretty cool because this is a sort of repurposed channel, but I like it because it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that. I think that when it comes to these kinds of channels, we really need to make sure that we just don't feel like we're getting leftovers, right? Does that make sense, chat? That we're just not getting leftovers. So we need to make sure and ensure, and you're doing a pretty good job of this, at least on the front end, of making sure that this just doesn't feel like clips, right? Which my YouTube channel, the income stream clips, definitely feels like clips, but that's okay. That works. However, especially for a channel where you're providing this kind of information, we need to see what we can do, especially on the front end of the videos. If it is possible that we can create a hook much faster, because we're 18 seconds in this video yet. I saw 7 seconds of an intro, and we haven't yet focused on the hook. All we have is the title and thumbnail so far, but within the first parts of the video, we have yet to get something that's like, ooh, I really need to make sure I watch all the way through. So let's keep watching all the way through here.
How do you currently make money out of your channel? And I know you're probably in school, or you're going to college or university, so maybe this is not your prime focus to make money off of YouTube. But with a channel with that many subscribers and the number of views you get, are you thinking about starting to make money and how you're going to monetize your channel?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think from the very beginning when I saw
her video quality is really cool. It's really, I like the dangling lights in the background. Anyway, so this is difficult to do because these are just repurposed, and obviously you don't want to spend more time on the repurposing than it is actually creating your own content, if that makes sense. But I think that there could be something interesting where in the beginning, the hard thing is we don't know who this is. I don't know who this woman is. If I just found this video on YouTube search, unless I already know who they are, this isn't going to be that helpful. I'm not that intrigued, right? This is where we see a lot of these repurposed channels, like Joe Rogan, right? He has this other channel, JRE Clips, which, I mean, it blows up. But it's because, hey, Elon Musk is there, and we don't have to introduce Elon Musk to anybody, or because, you know, so-and-so, Ben Shapiro, or whatever his name is a guest on the show. And we already know and have feelings and understand that person and are interested in what this person has to say, versus we just are in the middle of this interview and I'm not yet invested, right, into this conversation. And that's the hardest part of this. So there could be some interesting things in the beginning of the video that maybe even with text, if you don't want to include a post-production video that you put in here, where essentially you would talk to the camera, you would talk to me and go, hey, by the way, this clip right here is a interview with so-and-so, Jen Creates. She is an amazing YouTuber with X number of subscribers, and you're about to listen to the clip where I ask her about how much money she makes. She usually doesn't share this with anybody, but I was able to actually get her to answer a question about how she monetizes her channel, if that makes sense, right? So this would be something that would take a little bit more time, but could be worth the effort. Do you see how that hook could be that much more intriguing, right? So I did something similar where I took clips from my podcast episode with MKBHD. If I typed in MKBHD Pat Flynn, you'll see this video here, 5 surprising facts about MKBHD. And this is a separate video. Hold on. This is going to play in the beginning. Okay, let's go back to the beginning here. Just in general. So yeah, this is an intro video. Hey, what's up, Team Flynn? Pat here. You know, the other day I had the amazing opportunity because my audience has a connection with me, or I want people to connect with me. And it also proves a little bit more about my authority, how this interview came to be, a little bit more context. And then it gets into clips from my interview with MKBHD there, as you see. So let me go back. I'm not going to necessarily play that for you, but I just wanted to share that idea with you. And I think although it might take a little bit more time, it could provide a little bit more context. And again, most importantly, it would get me to be invested in the rest of the time here. So that's the tough thing to do. And I would actually exclude the intro full screen splash and maybe have that be a part of the intro message. So here's how I would structure it. It would be a view like this, right? Where I'm talking, or whatever view you like, but it's you talking to the camera and going, hey, it's Pat here. And in this video, you're going to hear a clip from a podcast episode with Jen Creates. And she is an amazing, and all the hooks that I just mentioned. And while I'm talking, you can have a lower third about who you are, and you know, YouTube expert, United We Create, all the tagline that could be there while you're talking, and then it goes into the clip. And then I agree with what somebody said here. And that's not Pat Flynn. He has no beard. Yeah, that was pre-quarantine Pat Flynn. And then while Jen is speaking, you could have a lower third pop up about her, and those few things would get me to know a little bit more about who I'm listening to and why I need to listen, So these are great ideas. Thank you again. Let's, and again, this is more back and forth. The production of the actual clip is fantastic. I know you're doing that on the fly as well. Actually, there is a lower third that pops up.
Growing. Like, it wasn't my first thought, but I began. So
this is cool. You have this already. Jen, YouTube influencer, creates 105K subscribers. That's level 1, I guess, in terms of connection. Maybe there could be a pop-up that shows up in post-edit after. You know, like those VH1 videos where there's just like some information about somebody. You can, while she's speaking, have, again, more text pop up. Maybe this collapses, and then another one comes with more information. And it could just be like, I loved interviewing Jen because of her down-to-earth style, and what she said about making money was really interesting and very unique, right? And then that goes away. And again, these pattern interrupts just, again, keep people watching. People who watch clips don't want to feel like they're just getting leftovers. That's the big theme here, if that makes sense. Cool. Great. Though it technically was a launch beard, not a quarantine beard. This is true. You have a great memory. This beard happened because I was so focused on the launch of Email Marketing Magic back in February, and I forgot to shave, or I didn't shave. And then we nailed that launch. It blew us out of the water in terms of how great it was a success. And then I kept the beard because it was my lucky beard, my lucky launch beard. And then I kept it and never shaved it since. Man, thanks a lot. My podcast is a copy of you, and now my videos will have your tips. Dude, absolutely golden tips. Thank you. I'm glad that was helpful. You're doing really, really well. And finally, make sure that in your other channel, the one with 256,000 subs, you talk about this stuff. You link to it in your descriptions. You say, you say, hey, by the way, I have another channel here, or you link to it in the end card or in or the end screen, and this can help spur and grow this channel. And just keep going with it, because 1 or 2 of these videos are going to pop, and then more and more people are going to find you through here, and then go to your other shows. So some cross promotion can be really great. Cool. Good stuff. All right, I think we have time for one more, but these have been really fantastic, and I love this, just the sort of variety of the things that we've had today. So thank you for that. Let's go to one more here. All right, oops, I have to go back to here and here. All right, we're going to go with, let's see here. Let's go with Josh. Josh here. And again, I just picked these at random, but thank you for those of you who submitted today. Hopefully this stuff is helpful, and I'll hopefully get to some of you in the past. Okay, maybe I can get to 2 here. We'll see. But I am checking this out. Looks really cool in terms of skating and geezerskate.co. Geezerskate.co. So this is the homepage of geezerskate.co. And to me, that speaks to older generation skaters, right? Which is pretty cool. And yeah, today feels like a sit back and learn kind of day. Yeah, which is really cool. So I see blog posts here, and this is the homepage. I would love a little bit more context. The logo is absolutely baller. I love that, right? Like, hey, if you're a skater and you're like, this is probably a niche that within a niche, right? Skateboarding, but for old people, and I love that. And that's great. The riches are in the niches. I would love a little bit more introduction to Geezer Skate and what this is about and who it's for. Like, let's create that movement together. Let's like, hey, we're old guys, but we skate. We're still cool. Here is the place for you to get information about gear, and to connect as a community, and to learn more about skating if you are a little bit older than your teenager friends who skate with you around the neighborhood or whatever, right? Just some information about that could be really cool. The logo and the URL isn't enough to do that, but this one in particular does a great job of setting that up. I see that there's a ton of wasted space here on the right-hand side. If you could find a theme where these blog posts are displayed side by side, at least in 2 columns, you can save a lot of space and get people to scroll down further, faster. Meaning it is enabling them to dive and want to go a little bit deeper into the website. So as you can see here, half of the web page on the right-hand side here is gone, essentially because of the way that this is displayed. If this was the display and you can't change it, I would put it down a little bit more because, and again, it's weird that the homepage is the blogs, and you're also asking me to read about the latest blog post, even though it's here, right? So you can see there's a little bit of sort of doubling up there. This is what I was looking for. What we're about. And again, the text, this is like 0.8 text. We need to, in this photo, like I would have some real life photos of quote unquote geezers to geezer guys, cool guy geezers, or whatever name you might give your people. Right up front, versus like the first impression was I got 2 skate wheels and these logos that don't mean anything to me here right now, versus like if I landed here and it was like this photo here of these older guys and them having a good time. Also, like, this is a great photo, right? It's even in that GoPro style fisheye lens, which is pretty cool. But this is what we're about. When you're young and skate, no one thinks twice. It's a kid's sport. That's just something kids do. But when you get out of school and get a job, you're expected to put away the board and be responsible. So what about the people who didn't get that memo? Those who continue to skate long after their first marriage, mortgage, child. The people who'd rather hit a skate park on Saturday morning than a golf course. Yo, I think there's something here for sure. Like, this idea is great, and I think that you're onto something for sure. Right? Join the Geezer community. How? How can I do that? Am I going to click? Am I going to subscribe to something? We need a call to action there, because that's what ultimately, and you've said it here, like we need to band together as old guys and old gals to talk about this stuff. It's really cool. I'll check out your YouTube channel in a second, but I love the feeling that I'm getting here once I scroll down. But I want to see all that stuff up front, if that makes sense, right? Video should be above the fold or higher up on the page. But it sounds super fun, man. I like what I'm seeing here. Let's go to the YouTube channel. Actually, let's go to About really quick. Co-founders, dope. You guys look fun. I love that. And again, the font should be a lot bigger, and even like Josh pointing to you and Nate pointing to you, or I don't know who's Josh and who is Nate. But just to get to know you guys a little bit more, and then a call to action. Okay, it says like join this community. What do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? Where can I subscribe, right? Cool. Let's go to your YouTube channel. So YouTube channel's doing it. Awesome. 1.57K subs. Geezer, pad up. I like that. You're creating some language. This is one of the best artwork that I've seen so far on a channel, with the colors and the way you guys stand out. I would say that the only thing could be a tagline, right? Like skating for cool old people or something, right? It may not even be necessary because it's sort of inferred here. Excuse me, it's doing a great job. All right, Geezer skateboard bowling trick shots. Look at this. You guys are having such a great time. I want to watch one of these videos. And most importantly, I'm going to watch all the way through because I think this will be fun. And finally, I want to see how you're inviting me as an older person who I also skate, by the way, not probably like you guys, but I have an electric skateboard and I roll around every once in a while. I pad up every once in a while. But I want to see how you invite me to become a part of the community, how you invite me to subscribe, how you hook me in, how I can get a feeling of, hey, this is the place I need to be and where I need to go, right? So let's watch this video together.
Oh my God. Whoa!
It feels so good. It feels so good. It feels so good.
So the editing is great. Feeling, I want to be there with you guys.
It ain't no thing. It ain't no thing. I'm doing what I want. I'm gonna do my thing. Do my thing. I'm taking low. I'm feeling right from head to toe. Light it up and let it go. Here I go. Are you ready? Ready to go? Are you ready?
All right, we're a minute in. I'm enjoying this. If I was just a regular viewer who happened to find this, I would watch all the way through. You guys are having fun. I want to be there. I don't know who you are, though, and I don't know what the brand is. And I think that there could have been room for, you know how the Dude Perfect guys, they've nailed the formula, right, for videos like this, where they do some trick shots in the beginning, and then they go, Dude Perfect, and then you want to subscribe, and this is like what they're about, right? And then they go back into it. Right away. Just a little bit of the branding could be seen up front and would do you a lot of service, especially for these kinds of videos that could do a lot of going viral. Great stuff, but sometimes overbearing music makes me turn it off. Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but for videos like this, like the music is definitely a part of it, and for the target audience in particular too. Let me see, who is this again? This is Josh, Geekskate.co, and again, you're supporting the brand, and this video definitely supports the brand. So let's keep watching.
Ready for more? Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my, you ready?
I'm curious if the music is actually licensed or royalty free. This is the other thing when it comes to music. You could potentially have this go viral, and then because it goes viral, it captures the attention of the owner of that song, because YouTube will tell the owner of that song. There's bots and machines that do that. And then you can get demonetized if you haven't been already. A lot of times you do this and you get demonetized up front. So just be careful about the music that you choose to use on your videos. And if you wanted to go to different places where you can get music, Artlist.io is really great. AudioJungle.net is really great. There's a bunch of other ones, but those are the two that I typically recommend. And that way you can get some music that you can use and you'll have no trouble with monetization. Or if you do get dinged, you have a license that you could send to YouTube. Well, you can dispute it and you'll be fine.
Ready or not, we going, and I can't stop. Are you ready? Ready for me? Oh my God, oh my God. Oh my, gonna hit it big. Got my eyes on the prize.
By the way, I love that there are women in this video. Y'all are just having fun. And, you know, you're showing not all, like, the things are perfect. I mean, I think just the feeling of this is really great. I do see the logos on some of your shirts, but that's not enough to just brand this video. I would just love to make sure that people who come here know that this is not just, like, random old dudes and gals having fun, but, like, a whole brand, and there's a whole community here about this, and that I can join it, and I can be a part of this. Like, this is so fun. I'm actually going to scroll to the end to see if there's any sort of setup for what you do for a call to action. Yeah, the sound is great. The ASMR.
Ready for me?
What's up? I'm Josh. And I'm Nate. We're Geezer Skate. Keep watching. Be sure you subscribe. Give us a like.
Are you ready to go?
Some of the bloopers.
I called that.
So super fun. I love that. Love the call to actions at the end there. Just this feeling of that you want to invite people in to this. I want to be in your pack, right? I absolutely want to be in your pack. So that's really dope. And I would just try to come up with like that video. I would imagine is one of your more popular ones. Like let's do more like that. Let's have fun and get creative and get the entire crew on board. And with something that the cool that you can do would be to have your audience go, yo, tell us something that you want us to do. We're all guys who skate. We'd love to invite you to come with us. And if you have any ideas for videos, let us know in the comment section below or something like that, right? Because then you can actually crowdsource a lot of these fun things, right? And you'll start to get this sort of rhythm of, hey, do this in this way. And then you can show the community that you're listening to at the beginning of the next video, and it just becomes this cool sort of cycle, right? So see how you can get the audience involved. I think, I feel like the circle is closed. I want to be in it. And I think on YouTube especially, that's what you want to invite people to. So that was really cool. And Josh, I hope that helps. And I'm very glad that we were able to review that. And I'm glad we all had some fun today and had some time. So that was a great channel to end on and a good time. And you're never too old to be a kid, right? You're never too old to be a kid. And let's do some fun things today here on the weekend. Thank you so much, Team Flynn. I appreciate you. We're going to come back tomorrow. It'll be themed around videos, but it's likely not going to be just straight up YouTube or website channel reviews. I'm going to try to see if we can do something creative tomorrow together. We'll see. Maybe if I can't come up with something, it'll just be the same as today, and we'll get more people in. But if not, no worries. And yeah, super cool. Hook me up with a t-shirt if you can, because I love to support you guys. Anyway, take care. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. Team Flynn for the win, and I'll see you tomorrow. patflynn.com/theincomestream is where you want to go. And if you want to catch me and my son on Twitch, we will be on Twitch probably later today, probably around 2 p.m. Pacific. Twitch.tv/hotcoalsonly. We're past 100 followers there, which is pretty cool, and we're having some fun and playing some Fortnite and stuff. So anyway, yo, Josh, thanks for the super chat. Totally unnecessary to do that, but I thank you for your support. Yeah, it means a lot, and you're awesome. So thank you, Josh, and kudos to you and your crew over there, and keep up the good work. Hey, everybody, peace out. Thanks so much. Take care and have an amazing day.
This is the income stream to help you achieve your dream, all while we keep it clean. This is the income stream. It's the kind of show where you can come and go, but then you leave inspired with no fee required. The income stream with Pat Flynn.
In light of Josh and his website, let me just ask you, and you don't have to answer this in the chat, but what's one fun thing that you're going to do today to to act like a kid again. I think it's always fun to do that, and it lifts your spirits, and I think it's important for health. So, okay. Love you.
Bruh.